right. So we've just added an RTSP stream. And now we're going to check out how to add and configure an IPIO device, right? Like always, the link is here for you to view the article in the support portal. That kind of walks you through step by step. I'm going to show you here on the video. So you guys see Axis P8221? And what happens when you open it up?
It's disabled.
It says device disabled, right? Did somebody just press enable? Somebody did. Somebody pressed enable. Someone pressed enable. That's all right. So you just enabled it, right? You need a license to enable an IO license. You need an IO license, but you can also use time licenses, right?
Okay.
So you can see that this has already been set up and has pulled in the information from the Axis device, right? Stop clicking on stuff, please. So when you go to IO here, you go IO module settings, right? And if you go to IO ports here, the first thing I like to do, and we should have this as default, but we do not for some random reason, is to enable the tiled interface. So if you press apply on tiled interface, now it becomes a rescalable box that you can put next to any of the other cameras. And no matter how big it gets or small it gets, it will be usable because you will see the inputs, their status, and then you'll see buttons for the things that are connected to it. So here we got lights and fan, right? So if I'm not sure if the PTZ camera is working or not. Doesn't look like it. So I'm going to close the PTZ camera out. Let's see if we have a camera where we can see that. Eye in the sky, maybe. Alright, let's zoom in. So if you look at the PTZ, or the IO over here, it's right here. Right, so if I create a zoom window and zoom in on that, right, you can see there's an IO device right here. Right, if I click on the lights, it'll turn on the light. If I click on the fan, it'll turn on the fan. Right? So that's an IO. The Axis PA221 also has audio, so if you hook up a mic and a speaker to it, you can also talk through it. But this is how IO devices look in the UI once you've enabled them. Right? Pretty simple in terms of programming it. You can go in, you can look at the input or the output types. The Axis has both the dual use inputs output, so it has 8 of those, and you can do input or output on each one of them. There's a default state depending on how you've wired what you've got connected to it, either open or grounded. You can provide names, you can update them all. As you update things here, it will be updated in the UI that you see. So this is how you program an IO. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You guys got any questions?
No.
The toughest part about IO, I'll be honest, is doing the hardwire to like the external stuff. That's where you got to know the voltage and you got to know what you're connecting to and all that kind of good stuff.
Well,
Once you've connected an IO, though, you can create rules.
Like how deep with like programming can you get? Can you like create a button that alters the voltage of something, or like
No,
whatever?
it's
Or
binary.
Strictly like on off.
IOs like this for the most part are binary. They're like on or off. They're not digital, right?
All right.
So in terms of what you can do, you can go in and set it up on the device itself if you need to adjust voltage and all that. Different IOs have different capabilities, but our side of it is really binary, on off, right? And what other capabilities for the most part. So IO devices.